Hello, welcome to Roll Initiative. My name is Dave, and I'm a dungeon master for a group of friends that get together and play Dungeons and Dragons. So let's jump right into this. Last time we were together, you guys start off by Benbow utilizing the giant owl and Hedwig to take Benbow and other prisoners back to their home. Immediately, as you guys opened his doors, you saw just a horde of the undead. Closing these doors immediately, you stepped into the middle of this room, gather your thoughts. It was at that moment that you saw this gray dust filtering the air and engulfing Rufus as he looked at all of you drawing the guns, saying simply, "Let's play." You found also that he was inquiring about the lucre. Why do you want this? Kari spoke up, saying you had it. Immediately, this dust left Rufus, engulfing you as you immediately began to run to the far staircase. As you were running, you guys noticed these footsteps trailing behind in the dirt as they swung these doors open, allowing this horde to come in. You guys made your way towards the staircase, where Oriana, you cast a wall of fire blocking this undead from following you upwards. You guys travel upwards, making this very long hallway. You can see 4 doors, 2 on each side, and a set of golden doors at the very end of it. You began to travel down, checking these doors. Rufus, you opened the one, finding one of these minotaurs sleeping, his armor and weapons, in the far corner of the room. Rowan, you examine the room directly across, finding another one of these awake. As it grabbed on the door, you grabbed, playing a tug of war for quite some time to keep this creature inside. Rufus, you awoke this beast, incurred in a battle where all of you guys successfully killed these 2 creatures, but unfortunately, Oriana, you did go down in this battle. Meanwhile, Kari, you were in this throne room. You notice how immaculate it was kept. As you woke up finding yourself chained, bound, as one that could speak questioned you. Why are you here? What is it you're looking for? They then touched each side of your face, transferring their memories, their life into you, as you saw these 3 young dwarven girls enslaved by Asarak, bound to this loop room. They've been there well over 100 years. You guys proceed to enter this throne room, where, again, the question was asked, what are you here for? Rufus, I think you simply said directions. Their response to where? Voicing Omu, you saw them all kind of pull back, bewildered and afraid, not only for themselves, but for you. They did, however, provide you with the route to Omu with their own blood dripping along this map, lining the path. At this moment, a bony claw pierced through one of them, lifting him up into the air, dropping the stone in his hand as he just destroyed it. As these 3 witches became dust, there you saw Asarat. The crown, the skeleton face, the long gown, as he whispered, "Betrayers." And then looked at all of you and said, "More souls." As he raised his hand in the air, the floor beneath you dropping all of you 40 feet down. As you all land, he then pulls the ceiling from above and smashes it down on you. Oriana, you, as succumb again, are currently unconscious, laying at the bottom of this 40-foot rubble, along with all of you. Without further ado, let's run the intro. Okay, so you guys are laying on the prone on the bottom of this flooring, dust everywhere around you. You can look up though and see through this dust, light piercing through. It's coming down, moving its way through this dust, kind of sparkling light around you. Oriana, you are still unconscious, and the first hand you is a death saving throw for me.
Don't die.
Come on, fairy.
12.
Okay. So, as you guys all kind of standing up, kicking the dust and some of the rubble off, you immediately look around and you see these large pieces of stone that have fell. Underneath them, you see what appears to be some of this undead that are rubble all around them. As the dust begins to clear, you now realize you have fell 40 feet down right back into the room of the horde. As the dust is beginning to separate, you can see in front of you them just lingering all around as you have large rocks and rubble everywhere, moving closer towards you guys. What you want to do?
Do I see that Oriana's out?
Yes, she is. As you see her there, she has partially covered with rubble. She is still full size, barely breathing.
I'm gonna clear the rubble off her and cast Healing Word.
Okay.
Well, shit. Back
7.
down in the mess.
And you can actually hear groaning as
7.
you're looking. It's just full. This room is just full.
Just like that? Just like that.
You immediately start hearing this pounding coming from the entrance. As you look over, you can see one of these large reptile creatures kind of trying to push its way in.
That'd be weird.
It's not just starting to break the wood support that's around this door.
The door they all came in, is that door all right?
You're open.
Got it.
Yeah, any ideas, gang?
Can I run to check that door and see if more coming in, or if it's kind of like they've all moved on?
From your vantage point, it is full. They're everywhere in this room as they're just starting to push through this rubble. It's had enough time now just to fill up. In the distance, you see more traveling up these stairs. It's just being overtaken by these things right now. And you also hear a groan as you watch all this rubble. That large earth elemental kind of stand up, shake some of the dirt off him as he's now just standing looking at you guys too.
I got it. You might have to get tiny, and I'm going to double over and really focus and turn into a giant eagle. And hope everybody gets the idea to hop the fuck on.
So as you guys watch, Kari kind of starts, you see these wings now starting to sprout from her back as she transforms larger to this giant eagle now. Wings kind of flapping as these creatures are starting to push through this rubble, very slowly shambling towards all of you.
I'm gonna scream and screech as loud as I can to hopefully deter them.
Alright, yeah, I'm running over and trying to jump on.
I've seen it all now.
So you three guys get on, you watch.
I stood up and
Okay, and change. You watch as now that large rock creature that now is kind of looking at all of you as you're getting on there, and he goes to grab, and when you go to, it's just too heavy, you can't take off with him. He's just kind of looking around.
I wonder if you can follow.
Well, go then.
I can't speak, so it's kind of up to you guys.
You know?
You can't
Let's
fly
look
with
at all
all of
the
us,
new
correct?
things we've
I can't fly with
gained.
him.
Let's look at all the
What?
things we've gained.
You can't fly with who?
The rock guy.
The rock, the elemental.
Oh.
We have an elemental. I forgot about him.
Oh, okay.
Oh, does anybody have anything to put him in?
Or can you do a new shrinking trick?
Oh, yeah.
Grab him and shrink with him.
No, she couldn't do it with me. And he's way bigger.
It's a new.
Oh, you got a thing.
You become buff
I like buff.
when you're small.
Buff is good.
And they're starting to push forward, so decision made. You guys are all on.
Grab them, shrink them.
As you see one of the dead kind of grab onto this rock, and he can't really bite, he just slams one away, knocks a couple down like bowling
well
pins.
then,
At least instruct him to fight off the horde while we're waiting.
yeah, then I'll shrink that guy.
Just so you all watch as you're on here.
Okay.
So Oriana flutters over to his beast and kind of is there in front of him, and he's kind of looking, and she very gently just grabs onto him as he pushes a little with her. You're now holding this creature. You're holding him as he weighs nothing. You're fine. So he's just kind of looking at you. totally confused. What do you guys want to do? Like I said, about 60 feet up is where you can see this hole that Astarak created.
I don't know.
So-
I'll give a little scratch.
Yeah, and I'll-
Let's go.
Flap up and
Okay.
start flying away.
So you guys, now, being a giant, as you're flying through, there's some that is a little wider, some a little closer. So just give me a quick dex check. The rest of you guys are fine.
You know, but I don't want to keep this guy, right?
We're not gonna fight forever.
Drop him somewhere.
Let's just get
No,
out
we
of
need to
this
keep him. He's
horde.
friendly to us for now.
Oh, well, for now.
He's a good walker.
Okay.
He just can't fly.
15 plus 3, 16.
16, yeah. So at times, at one point, one of your wings kind of brushes along this small jagged edge. You guys all kind of feel a rock slide to size. You focus, you fly, and now you fly out of the ceiling. As you can see now, there's jungle ahead of you. You same thing, you fly to just right up as you see it now.
Can I perch on top of the building safely?
Right on top of the,
Yeah.
yeah, so you get to the top, come out of the ceiling, you go a little bit, find a stronger part that's
Right.
held good, and you kind of just
And
perch right on the mountain.
I'm going to look in each direction and wait for one of my compatriots to kind of give me a heads up of which way we want to go.
Okay, so can we look at the map?
Yes. Well, which way do we go out?
You're right now, her direction is she's pointing south, because she came up this way, perched on this side. So
We
you
want to
guys,
head south,
All right.
southeast, but
from your guys' vantage point, being on the Eagle, you can kind of, over the side now, at the height you're at, kind of look and you can see this whole city of Curseball just swarming with the undead. Just full, like 1,000 roaches just down there moving.
I'm going to stay at least a good 50 feet above the foliage and take off south.
Well, to fly, you're actually going to be closer to 60 feet in the air because some of the trees top at 40, 45 feet high. So you begin to fly and you're flying over the jungle now. At points you see openings where you see some of these dead. The more you travel south, the less you're seeing of them at this moment. It's almost, you start to see more of normal things. Well, as far as normal is Chult, you do see some large lizard creatures at times pushing their way through. You see the ones you've seen before with the real long necks kind of standing and eating the vegetation off the trees. Now, you have 4 hours. So,
My fly speed's 80,
okay. So you're trucking along. You notice the more you're beginning to move south, you feel an intensity in the air begin to heat up ever so slightly, but it's enough to be noticeable. You guys notice as you're riding this Eagle, the air was very cooler and more humid and moist when you first left. 3 hours in now, you're feeling almost as if the moisture is being sucked out of the air, and it starts to feel more like flying into a furnace that's just kicking out, just very dry heat. You notice even above some of the trees that are there begin to look a little more with the farther south you're heading. You also see about 3 hours in the distance, 2 flying creatures that seem to be flying in your direction.
I've got keen sight, so can I make out what they are?
How far is your keen sight?
I just have advantage on perception checks.
Give me a
so-
perception check.
Okay.
You guys just notice that these, in the distance, like looking at an airplane in the sky, you can tell it's an airplane, but you can't make out necessarily the detail sometimes.
18.
And you have your own mind, your own thoughts. With
Yes.
these. Okay, you recognize these things as what you guys saw before, these creatures they call wyverns.
Oh.
You also see humanoid on each riding these things. You can tell once in a while their armor from the sun kind of glows off their armor a little bit. You also swear you see capes that are going in the wind, blue color cape. That's kind of ruffling in the wind as they ride these creatures.
How far away are we from them?
At this point, about 150 feet.
I'm within range to shoot him.
Why? Do we even need to? Why don't we just keep flying over them and get towards the destination?
I'll wyvern could
Well,
take me out.
she's going to be approaching her 4-hour time anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're at about 3:15 right now.
Alright, well,
Find a safe place
well, a
to
safe
rest.
place to land and rest and
Regroup.
Give me stealth checks.
Everybody?
Yep.
Everybody.
I'm good today. 19.
17.
17.
28.
16.
What'd you say?
7.
Yeah, so you fly about another 40, 45 feet towards them before you can find an actual clearing through this heavy tree area. You land safely, as you do. Boom, you guys get your footing. You land in this area, more of an opening, a stream. It's kind of flowing down through it. You don't notice anything out of the ordinary. You see the normal birds kind of flying through in areas. You shapeshift back.
Yeah. I'll drop
Thank
one.
you for the ride.
Absolutely. I've been waiting to try that out.
You let the big boy go, or you still hold on to him?
I'll just hold on to him for now.
Okay. So you guys kind of look as where you guys flying around with this little rock guy, this bird though, just kind of flying with them.
Just remember, he's not a toy. Or he is, but we'd all like to play with him at some point.
Go, Rufus.
Yeah, no.
Within about 4 minutes, you guys kind of see this clearing as you see these two wyverns, and now you see up close. All you guys can see the fact that these are LOA guards riding these things.
Oh,
As they hover down and land in front of you.
oh darn.
And now, when you get a close-up look, these wyverns are almost wearing what you do for horses. As they get off, there's a saddle that sits across their back. Kind of drop the ropes down next to them as they just kind of plant their wings to their sides as these two guards approach you. They kind of look you over. So, what brings you all in this area, Chult? I don't see any guides with you. Usually people want to take guides if they want to explore this jungle. Pretty brave, huh?
There was a shortage on guides. They all seem to not be coming back.
Strange thing. Well, little advice for you. I would, I guess it's all up to you, but I wouldn't be heading too far south. We have a small problem that's occurring, and best advised to probably maybe end your expedition here, start maybe heading back up north.
Can I get a read on this dude?
Yeah, give me a second.
So what seems to be the problem?
Well, how much you know about Chult?
Not much.
Well, probably what I'm telling you is not going to mean much, but there's a place very far south, mountain range, by the name of Obsidian. Well, damn thing seems to be growing. When I mean growing, I mean pushing itself up north, farther, causing intense heat. Just things that he's being straightforward with. He doesn't seem to know anything about your doings up north.
Where's Obsidian on this map? It's not on the map.
It's not there. It's just,
They just gave you the path.
Not on any map.
It's, there's stories about Obsidian. I just prefer to stay away from it myself. But just a little warning, just a little advice.
I do mighty appreciate that. Is there any danger other than this growing mountain if we continue heading south?
Well, typical creatures of Chult. You have those large reptiles, and you got those buggers, these deads that just seem to travel through here.
They are a pain. They are a pain.
Besides that, probably natural terrain issues.
you seem to
I
have
think we've got the terrain.
trained a couple of them.
Oh, yeah, well, this is part of our job down here. It gives us, the ability to see from above, and also kind of keeps us away from the dangers I just told you about.
That's how
And this gentleman, older, seems pretty laid back.
How long has he been patrolling down there?
As well, he switches out about every 6 months to a year. You can call me more of a lifer here. I've been here going on close to 40 years now. I occasionally travel up to Castlegard and port up there. Made as far as seeing those reptiles race one time, but that was a while back. But things keep going the way they're going. Well, then I'm going to be moving more north, if you know what I'm saying.
It's got to be frustrating. They're pushing you out of your own territory.
Something we can't explain is pushing us out of our territory. I know they sent a doctor down here. That must have been, I seen him about 2.5 months ago. Said he's going to do some research down there. Little guy. Kind of annoying if you ask me.
Frankenweenie?
Actually, I think France, Dr. Franz. I know we made fun and kept calling him Ernie. He didn't like that. Earnhardt. Yeah, but that was about 2.5 months. He continued south. Sorry's on here, some mission from the LOA up there.
And you haven't seen him?
No.
Did things start getting weird after you met him?
Ma'am, things have always been weird here.
That's true.
They got a little weirder. Yeah, growing mountains, kind of strange. But with everything else you see in this island.
Does that mountain seem to be growing from within?
Out. It's pushing north.
Odd question, is the whole thing moving or is it just expanding?
No, it's growing, man. It's expanding. Yeah, I didn't tell you it's moving. I told you it's growing. It's expanding. It's just, making it hella hot.
We did notice the temperature shift.
That's why I best advise you not continue heading south. If this is making you weary.
We actually, I think we're gonna bed down for a bit. Are we in any trouble if we continue further?
Well, I give you my warning. Now, farther south, we got more guys down there. I'm not sure how they take to it. My orders is to watch from above, which is what I do. Then down south, they might take themselves a little more seriously on crossing. Can't make any promises. I could tell you if I happen to be back down there, I could put in kind of a good word for you, although I call you silly. But silly might get you fine with that.
Yeah, you think your friends out down there could use any help?
LOA kind of like to do their own thing, They don't appreciate outsiders too much coming in, doing their business.
We'll be sure to steer clear if we see him.
Yeah, just be careful. This place is amusing for a little while, but it can become deadly real quick.
Yeah.
And the other gentleman that was with him was just kind of backed by his wyvern and seemed to really be just like petting him and just like taking out feed and feeding both of them. Looks over once in a while. Younger kid.
Could I feed him, maybe?
What, that creature over there? Well, it's your own risk. You open up a pouch, put some weird kind of mushy meat in your hand.
Okay.
Because I talked to him real nice before you try that, though. You don't take much to strangers. All right, so you're gonna walk up to
I'm
him?
gonna walk over and.
So you all watch as Kari walks up to this weird-looking miniature dragon, something you guys just fought. It's
the
basically
Elven
just a smaller
incident
version of it. As you kind of put your hand forward, and as you do, the kid kind of
Sits
says,
on Kari's
I
dinner.
don't know,
She doesn't make it.
I'm
I get the bag full of stuff.
but he's so pretty.
"Suit yourself, man." As the younger kid kind of steps back, looks over, he goes, "Dad, I don't think you should be letting her do this." The older gentleman looks at, "Son, you've been okay. I've taught you the way right. Just, gotta live and learn."
And get loves.
You have to speak for animals, don't you?
No.
I do. So I am gonna walk up next to her
Okay.
and I'm gonna cast speak with animals, so I can figure out what their deal is. If they're upset, are they happy?
Okay.
What they're
Just tell him she's here to feed you, not to hurt you.
and basically say, hey, we just want to give you a little treat.
Okay, you see, all right, so, so you go up to it, you cast this on it, and it kind of, the moment you kind of do this, you see it kind of almost rear up a little bit and kind of look at you, and then you're standing there too, looks at you and says, You see it kind of bares its teeth a little bit. And just kind of looks.
I'll make sure all of my fingers are very flat, like when you give a horse an apple.
What I will give you is animal handling with advantage because
Okay.
of just well.
But the animal didn't say anything or to me at all. Nothing.
No kind of communication. You kind of seem just more emotionally active, just a little apprehensive.
28 total.
Okay, well, you two together seem to be okay as you kind of hold out there. When it takes the food, it takes it kind of forcefully to where it does kind of put a little cut in each of your hands. His teeth kind of drag across. They're a little flesh open. As it, you notice, he kind of brings his tongue in. This long black tongue kind of comes out where your blood's there and kind of just sops up and just kind of looks at you and brings himself back as you're standing there with it.
Good boy. And I'll step back.
Older gentleman kind of walks toward you, so
I had a purpose.
enough time at the petting zoo. Can we get
Yes,
on our way?
I apologize. Thank you. So I adore animals very much.
Like I said, heed the warning. My brethren down south sometime aren't as kind as I was.
One thing quickly before you go. Where do you guys train these at?
A southern camp.
That's a neat thing you got there.
We think so. You know, there's been talk for quite some time bringing stuff like this into Faerun. I'm hearing whispers. Laura Alliance want to amp up, you know, make stronger statements. So there's a good chance if you guys ever, well, where are you all from, Faerun?
Thereabouts.
Well, you might be seeing some more of us finding your friendly skies not too far in the future.
Another friendly skies. Thanks for stopping to check. We were okay.
Good day to you.
Right, good day.
As they jump on the saddles, you see they have these reins. As they grab onto these reins, kind of wrap in their hands, kind of pull back as these creatures reel up, fly straight up through. And you watch as they seem to continue a little more north, not heading south at this moment, but north. So you guys are in this area. Light rain begins to fall, kind of cooling, but even though the rain even feels like just different as it's hitting you. About 20 feet from you, you can see a small cave. Looking into it, you can see it does not go too deep. It's more of just an inward of this mountain that's cut out. You can get about 15 feet inside.
You
Take
guys
cover
wanna
if
go
you
over
guys
there?
want to rest.
Maybe
Yeah, let's go in the
cast
cave.
the
and
vine
wait.
spell or the fire spell and block off the door.
Okay, so you guys all, if you haven't yet, you got your full health back, full spell slots. And everybody take off a ration.
Quick DM question. The difference between a wyvern and a wormling, size-wise.
Legal woman's a little smaller.
Yeah. All right. Not quite a hatchling, but not quite a wyvern.
Right, almost like a, not really a young thing, but in the middle.
All right.
In the middle.
Right. That was the purpose of that whole thing, is I can turn into those two as long as I, see one.
Got you. Oh, I get you. Okay.
What color were they?
Unique. This one
Oh,
had
she
more
used
of a.
polymorph, huh?
No, I can shape change.
Oh, that's right.
These two you saw, you noted. I mean, just from being that close, both of you guys, they kind of had different type of coloring. Almost, you got the feeling might be a slightly different breed. These creatures.
Crossbreeds.
Yeah, I did feel a little bit more of a greenish, blackish shading on the wings, but yet they had these longer, almost like whiskers that were out there. It's a different, slightly different flavor.
Cool.
So you guys rest. It was early morning when you took off out there. You rest. It's hitting to where the sun's starting to now go down a little bit. What you guys want to do? The rain has let up. It's just very still. Not even a breeze. Just very still.
How far are we from Omu?
From what you can kind of judge by this map, it appears to be a 2-day travel.
Okay. Oh, by foot, correct?
Yeah.
All right.
Now we're
I want to now use my little monocle and find out where Headwing is too.
Okay. So you kind of put that up there, visualize, and you can see Headwing flying over and slightly beyond Criswell. You visualize the hole on the top of this mountain that you guys came out of. You notice also she seems to be moving a little faster than what she used to before. You could feel the speed of her moving. Give me a quick wisdom check.
When you put the stone dude down, he's gonna back to normal size.
19.
19.
I think I have.
Okay, so as you're looking through this, you hear a voice whisper in your head.
Oh boy, that's never good.
I'm coming.
Smelling slowly.
I'll be there soon. Are you all safe?
Yes.
And you kind of answer back, and you say it in your mind,
No longer touch.
and you hear back.
So yeah, you put him down.
Okay. And as you kind of take the monitor off, you're like,
I'm like, what?
whoa, as you just had this communication with Heaven.
You talking to him?
Yeah. She's on her way back. She says she's safe, and she wanted to make sure that we were all safe, and I told her that we were. She
So-
said she'd be here soon.
You guys want to move forward or wait?
What time? Yeah, what time of day?
Oh, it's nighttime.
Right now it's early evening. Yeah, the sun's beginning to set. It's starting to give that shadows across this jungle.
We wait till morning to set out.
It's probably a good
Yeah,
idea.
first light.
Well, then anything anybody needs to do, if you need ammunition, anything like
Can we,
that.
like,
Yeah,
get
let's
trained
take an
on
evening
things
nap.
we really need to train on?
and I'm gonna meditate.
Alright,
And,
well, let's go bullets first.
Okay, for a pistol.
Ariana,
For everything. I need well,
sorry.
probably get away with one.
You might want to put him
Musket.
down so he can guard the cave.
Musket and scouter gun
Okay.
ones I would rather do.
Okay. So you guys watch as she's kind of standing there, and she's kind of not used to this new thing she's having yet. So she's like 30 feet in the air, and she just goes and releases this thing. You watch as he just poof, it poofs into full size. She lands there, he just kind of just looks around, looks at you guys, and just puffs his chest as maybe
Whoops.
slightly embarrassed. He just
I'm gonna pat him.
he just kind of looks at you guys. He knows almost instinctively he stands in front of that opening to that small cave that you're in. Just kind of stands there and just watches his back to you. Just
Go like protecting me.
every once in a while you hear him breathe. So you're gonna make your rolls?
Yes.
Okay, give me the rolls. You want to do them separate?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so you watch as Rufus makes his fire. She's like your little steel thing, kind of heats it over there, dropping the silver into there. 2 pistols first. Give me 3 D20s. How many are you trying to make?
I'm not gonna do the pistol right now.
Okay.
The musket.
Okay.
So 4 for the musket and maybe another 4 for the scouter gun.
Okay. And you're
19,
proficient with that
14,
too.
I'm gonna 4.
And you're proficient.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You managed to make 3 for the musket
Okay.
and 2 for yellow. So you work on that. Anything else anybody wants to work on?
I'm gonna ban Luna out and just play with her for a minute. Let her have a few
Dude,
minutes
I
to
almost
breathe.
forgot you even have Luna.
Right?
Can I practice my accuracy with my crossbow?
Yes. Yeah, so give me what are you trying yeah, give it.
Just maybe like trying to hit specific spots
Okay.
on targets.
Yeah. Give me roll 3 D20s.
20, a 20, and a 17.
Okay. So you guys are kind of like drift off at times and just relaxing. You watch as Rufus finish making his bullets, and you just watch Rowan out there over and over again, just firing. He spends a good 8 hours just doing it, practicing pinpointing targets. With your crossbow,
Yep.
now just a crossbow. Add a +1 on your attack.
I want to practice with my whip.
Good job.
Yeah, the whip would be cool. Okay. Roll me 3 D20s.
So we gotta name our friend, right?
Beat 57.
I was thinking of Brock.
I want a 13 and a 14.
Okay.
You're one corner human.
You spend enough time to be proficient with the weapon, but
Okay.
you don't really have any tricks with it yet.
So I usually use a 1d4, so what would I use now?
Damage stays the same. It's just now you get your proficiency dice with that weapon because
Okay.
you weren't proficient with it before.
So I get the 6, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You can hit things with it now
Right,
pretty
but
accurately,
I get the 6 when I try to use
Yes.
it, right? Okay.
you just haven't really mastered the tricks of being able to like hit it and wrap it around and try to swing stuff like that yet. Just it's not
Okay.
coming to you yet.
Alright. But I'm proficient with it.
Yes.
So that's good. Okay.
Anything else wants to do? Okay.
Rest it out.
So you guys kind of wait throughout the night, feeling pretty well rested as most of you kind of just think about what's to come. You know, throughout this time you spent there, unusually warm night. Sun begins to rise as you kind of just can feel it. You kind of step out, okay, and as you go to walk by this elemental staying there, he kind of puts his hand up, kind of looks around, kind of lowers it as you walk by. You stand there for a moment and you can see this owl. Unusually a little bit larger than what she was before she left. Just not gigantic, just a
Bigger.
little bigger.
Okay.
Her wingspan, everything about her, she just comes through, lands right on your shoulder there, and nuzzles, and you can hear it again.
And does she have the miniature?
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
She kind of just nuzzles, and you hear it again. I'm back. Kind of nuzzles, and you can hear it in your head.
Alright, I'm gonna pat her and give
You
her
notice
some
when you look at her eyes too, look a little different. A little more of a twinkle, a little more of a thing going on there in her eyes now as she kind of looks at you. Okay, and he watches the big guy too. Just kind of stands there, kind of looks at that happening, kind of turns his head a little bit, and just looks at you guys. Just lets out this heavy. And you can feel he's trying to communicate. And just
All right.
what you guys want to do?
Shall we set off? Try to get closer towards our goal.
I have the capability to conjure elementals.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, there's
How long
nothing
are they
I
gonna
can
last? Don't try to give them a friend.
do. No. It
And then
wasn't
get
that.
took away.
I was actually hoping more for communication purposes.
I would say
Ah.
possibly. I don't know about that because you
Yeah.
conjure him.
He'll follow us.
But you're able to command him when you conjure him, correct? But
Yeah.
that's more through magic, not necessarily through language.
Right. All right. Well,
So can we shrink him again and take him with us?
I'm gonna
why
explain
not
that
just
to
have
him in common.
Walk
whether he
with us
understands
so
or not, I don't
defense
know.
is an extra attack.
So you talk to me, tell me, kind of just.
We're gonna make you tiny and go for a ride.
Just kind of looks at all.
All right. And then pat him again. Do you need to eat?
You see, he kind of reaches down and grabs this big pile of this dirt
Oh,
and this long grass that's embedded in it, and some insects, whatever is in it. Just chomps that down. Now, as you look down, you can see this larger hole, like he's been doing that off and on
all right.
just
Okay.
digging
Cool.
and just.
All right. I'm gonna apologize to Luna that she has to go back in the ring. And how many times is gonna be done, anyways?
I need you to roll me a d6. Well, no, you just long rest it. After a long rest, it comes back. It's only to use it. How that works, so you understand, if you're using it consecutively before a long rest, you have to roll a d6 and either get a 5 or a 6 to be able to do that, and that is a whole action. That's your action. Okay, so yeah, you kind of fly down to him again. You see, kind of like welcomes it as you touch him, shrink him down. Are you
I'm an eagle,
okay?
and I can do 2 4-hour stints, so we can do 8 hours.
Okay,
Oopsies.
so you guys take off again. Again, early morning.
We all hop on and
Yep.
okay. Alright, cool.
So you're soaring through there. You see once in a while, Edmund kind of leaves your shoulder and kind of just flies next.
It's a really good time for a bard song.
And is able is able to almost keep up at times. You, with the size differential, at times you swear you see as she's flying these trail, kind of almost like Oriana when she flies, a small trail that's leaving behind her as she keeps up pretty good flying next to you guys. So you guys do this for about 4 hours. Don't really see anything in the skies at this point.
I'm gonna be actively watching for these friggin' wyverns. Even
Well,
Dawes on
what
the
about
horizon.
below? Has there been anything to even see?
The same thing. Occasionally seeing these large creatures, lizard creatures, kind of pushing their way through. You swear at one point you fly over, and you see what appears to be huts built into trees. As you kind of, you can see the lanterns that hang there. They're small huts that sit along these trees. You also swear you see large sloths kind of walking very slowly in this city as they just kind of walk. And you swear at one time, you fly by so quick, you can just start to see his head turn, as if he's going to look up at you guys as you guys just fly over this village of these large sloths that their homes in the trees on different levels. So you guys kind of make your way over that. At the 4-hour point, you're hitting real close to 4 hours, when all of you guys, I mean, and this is far out, the lightning, you can see what appears to be lightning storms way out, and you swear that you see almost a wall where the sky seems to disappear, right? Just blackness. Just blackness. This is way out. I mean, it looks very small in your point of view, but lightning. Like I said, it almost seems like the world stops there. It's almost like this barrier.
It's like thunder and lightning. When you look, it's frightening.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
I'm gonna look for a clear spot to
That's the
land.
spirit.
I chopped your
Just to
stuff.
take a
That's the
moment to
spirit.
see if anybody needs a potty break.
Yeah, again, you kind of land, shape shift back. This part of it, you kind of land there, you notice, even landing, the ground is like kind of, it's not hot, but it's almost like it's just been dried out completely. As it just kind of cracks as you kind of land on it. The grass and the trees seem to be just withering and dying, as if all the moisture is just being just sapped out.
Before I shift back, I'm gonna take some time to sit, sink my hands into the ground and meditate and see if I can gather anything.
And eagle form?
Huh? No, I'm gonna.
Human form.
Yeah,
Right.
human.
Give me a nature.
Human.
Unless you have some kind of spell that coordinates with that, otherwise just give me nature.
I don't have speak with plants, not yet. And it's only a 9.
9. The only thing you gather out of it is you feel like it's just dying. Like the life is just being
Sucked out.
sucked out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what you guys see around you. Even you can see a point where there might have been a stream there. Now it's just kind of like small amount of puddle, just an inch of water that's in it now. You can see the rocks that are set at the bottom of this riverbed now completely just there. No more water. Just,
Any animal life?
Dead fish.
yeah, you look around. You happen upon, as you walk about 25, 30 feet away from him, kind of looking around, you find a dead bird kind of laying here. Seems to be just dried out. All the energy really gone. You move further, you find some small animal life that is just dead. You see no markings of wounds, just moisture just sucked dry. Sucked dry, yeah. What do you guys want to do?
Well, so
Like a suit you can wear.
let's eagle one more time.
So you guys again gonna fly towards it.
And keeping that ever watchful eye.
You spend about an hour and a half this time flying. I need everybody to give me Constitution saving throws. What?
7.
No, this is kind of cartoon. That's kind of funny though. What'd you get?
20.
21.
21? Okay.
17.
18.
Okay, all of you start to feel a little fatigued, but are able to push it through as you're kind of taking the water flask you have, and just at one point you're drinking, another point, so you're just pouring it on just to try to stay cool. About Another 15 minutes, 20 minutes in, you guys see smoke rising from this area. In front of you.
This is the music I play while I fly.
Yeah, sorry. So, as you see this,
Oh, that was
you
come
get
on.
closer.
no fun.
You see what appears to be a camp. From your vantage point in your height, you're kind of looking down towards it, and you can see soldiers roaming.
Blue.
Definitely LOA. You see makeshift tents that are there. You see two more of these wyverns kind of on the far side of this camp.
I want to steer clear of the camp. I want to go
You guys all see the
kind of
same
like
thing.
southwest, the southwest edge of the camp, staying away from it.
Okay, everybody give me stealth checks.
There.
23.
18.
22.
16.
16. Okay.
On
You kind of
with the rock guy.
steer around us, and you notice as you're doing this is a very large camp area. Now, from all you guys' perspective, you're counting out just what you can see out the tents. 20 to 30 soldiers that are all in this area. A couple fires going.
Why do they seem to be down here in this hot, unlivable area?
We were.
Well, you
expecting
wouldn't-
them.
I know we were, but
You wouldn't know necessarily unless you wanted to.
We don't want to talk to them.
I
Find
know.
out.
I just want to see what they look like they're up to.
And if we do, maybe perhaps we should have a story that we're all here. Maybe we're just here to study Schultz
Yeah,
from a rich benefactor who has no name.
yeah.
That's a beautiful
Scientific.
Less details, the better.
Yes.
Scientific expedition.
Well, you may need that because as you kind of fly by, you watch. Some of them kind of turn. You watch as one pats the shoulder. They all kind of start looking up. You watch one of these soldiers just mount one of these wyverns, start flying up towards you. It gets there, and this thing is kind of hovering in your direction,
And
just
I'm
looking.
gonna come slow and start descending, like you do in the Air Force.
And you watch as this thing is just kind of trailing you. You see the other one now. Shh, come on, kind of flying with it as they're kind of just forcing you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna fight it.
So boom, and you kind of land right in a part of this camp. Boom.
Yeah. It's alright.
As the two kind of land,
I'm not. If I still have time, I'm not gonna shift back.
now you got about 25 minutes.
Okay. Oh,
So you're kind of there. You watch as the soldiers now all immediately are point at you. Okay. As one of them gets off the wyvern, walks up to you. This younger gentleman, not the same guys that you saw before, walks up to his eagle, kind of attempts to pet you.
I'll be nice.
Kind of looks it over. Looks up at you guys.
Snap my beak a little bit.
I've seen a lot, but I have not seen one of these in Schultz. How did you guys happen to find something as beautiful as this?
It's provided with from our benefactor who sent us to Schultz, who studies certain geological happenings.
Roll me persuasion? Deception.
Sure, yeah. I'm
Deception.
not telling the truth. What is that? Deception.
Do you have? No, I'm out.
Inspiration.
No, I have
Okay.
Yes, inspiration.
Yeah, I got one left. I had one left.
13.
Okay. He looks up at you, smiles. Geological. So why don't you all kind of step off this beautiful piece and talk to me a little more about your benefactor? I'm curious to hear about it.
He has no name, but he did send a letter with a symbol, a crest. Maybe my friend here could draw it for you.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Me looking.
Now you're going to draw me a picture.
Uh huh.
You know, I'm kind of enjoying this charade. Why don't you go ahead and show me
Supposed to
what
be
you
a
draw
well-known
there?
crest.
All right.
I'm not well learned, but money talks. Hence this beautiful creature.
Is that rock guy
Still little with
smaller
you?
than me now?
No, he's still little with you.
No,
You're
but he's
fluttering him
smaller
out.
than me because
I love it.
I'm holding him.
Well, no, you're kind of holding him like this.
Like, oh, I thought I was
Same
holding him
size
like
now.
this. Like,
So here's the
like on my
crest.
Here's the
hand.
crest.
He starts laughing. All the soldiers around him start laughing and going, "Hey, we got what clowns here?
good, huh?
Yeah, that's a good one, Crest buddies. I like that. Yeah, so
good.
I'm gonna need you all to step off this beast real quick for me, if you could. As you see these guards just kind of all pointing, you hear those crossbows click back. Because actually, we get kind of bored down here, to be quite honest with y'all, and this is kind of entertaining for us. It's very hot, as you can tell. And,
Yeah,
I
the
enjoy this.
older man and his son up, I don't know, a couple miles up earlier said you guys were down in this area.
Older man. I'll tell you what. You tell me his name, and I might just let you guys continue on with your way. I mean, after all, I'm gonna have to ask for some proof at this point, right?
It was a father and son that seemed to be patrolling the area a little north of here, and they said you train these magnificent beasts down here to fly on, and said stop in to take a look.
Oh, and they said you weren't as nice either.
And I kind of looks up and goes, "What the?" And he looks at number one. What's it holding?
Do you like my rock guy?
He goes, "That's it." They all just kind of. Enough with the bullshit. Can we please get you off? We just want to talk to you.
Step down.
And keep an eye on the little one. She's carrying some kind of something.
Are
You
we
see all the bows, crossbows, half them going, Ariana, they're just watching.
are we not allowed to
Drop
be
the
here? Because we didn't know that we weren't allowed to
Are
be
you here on LOA business?
We're not on LOA business. We're here from our private benefactor to investigate the.
So we're back to the benefactor story with the secret drawing.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we can make this easy because, we're all a little irritated down here. It's very warm. And it's times like this I kind of regret even joining this whole thing, as I'm sure most of the men here do. So it's just not a good time to piss us off, if you know what I mean. So why don't we just be straight with each other, and perhaps we'll let you go on your way. Now, if you're not straight with us, the first thing we're going to do is cut your giant eagle's head off.
Hearing that,
Make it stew.
I'm going to control it as well as I can and slowly shift back into me. I want it to be as slow and torturous as possible because I want to freak them the fuck out.
Not a BAMF, a transformation.
Yes.
So you want to freak them out.
Yeah, why
Not scare them.
No, wait.
I'm just asking.
Impress. I want to impress.
Use your
Impress.
words wisely.
Yes, impress.
They have intention.
All right.
DM will take your words.
Impress, not scare.
Well, then give me a performance check.
Honestly,
Got
no
it.
harm if we tell them why we're here. They're not gonna do anything.
I agree.
All right.
Benefactor sent us to
Oh, it's 14.
All right, so right as you're going to speak, you kind of even watch how Kari does this, and you're like, wow, I'm the performer. This is awesome. And she kind of just torts in a way where it's almost like amazing as they all just go, even the ones that are kind of all lower them, like just watch this go.
And as soon as I'm able to speak,
And one screams out, "Are we hallucinating from the heat?" And the one's like, "Oh, what's going on?" And they're all now starting to get a little nervous.
as soon as I can
As-
speak, I would appreciate it if you wouldn't cut my head off.
And now you can see they're getting shaky, sweating. You got less than a minute.
All right.
What's going on before I tell everyone needs to release fire on you?
All
And they
right.
will do. what I
Okay.
ask them to
All
do.
right. I'm gonna shoot straight to you. We have a friend back home that has fallen ill, and we are headed to Omu to try to figure out why he's sick.
He's our benefactor.
You were told it was
We're here
because
on
of
his
geological
benefit.
happenings.
Yeah.
Nice.
Omu.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So you're now working with that doctor that's already been here.
Dear God,
He's
no.
already made his way to Omu a good 2.5 months ago. What now?
No.
I think half of the shit's going on because of what he did. Now you're gonna go down there and do more?
We're here to stop
We're
him.
here to stop him.
Would you guys
If we
appreciate
can.
rain? Cold rain.
Or die trying.
Cold rain.
Yeah.
You
Would you?
see as all the guys kind of look around and
Or die trying.
they kind of,
With your permission, To cool you down, may I cast a spell?
Yes, just stay on her. She tries anything funny. If it ain't rain, shoot them all.
And I'm gonna
Gotta be
cast
accurate with that spell.
Sleet Storm. It's rain and cold.
Infamous sleeps. Okay.
I know.
So,
But I gotta give them some kind of cool down.
okay, so you cast this sleet storm. As it comes down, I need everybody to make dexterity saving throws, including the soldiers.
18.
You know your spell save.
I know my spells. Oh, yeah.
8.
19.
I don't care if they land on their ass.
21.
Just want them to cool
So-
down.
Rufus, in a good soldier way, you're up in the air.
Oh yeah. You don't have to.
Thank goodness.
As almost you
He said
felt the need
everybody, and I
to,
did.
as you watch all the soldiers, as far as this go, all slide and fall on the ground, including the gentleman you were talking to.
Yeah.
You're not sure if Rufus really intentionally did it or really just lost his balance.
Right.
But you watch him just fall right on them. And it's kind of like they're all kind of on
And
the
then I
back.
start
now.
laughing.
All the soldiers are on the back, but you kind of watch as anger for a moment and then relief. But because of the heat, it only lasts so long.
I know.
And it just begins to melt away, but you kind of watch as they're all like,
I just wanted to give them a moment of relief.
and you watch as the head guy kind of stands
Can I
up.
get my hand up?
Yep, he goes.
Alright. I apologize
So
for
you're
the
going
slip.
to.
Yeah.
That's the
And you know how exactly to get to Omu?
We were given a map, drawn in blood.
May I see it?
I don't see any reason why not.
He kind of takes it, he goes, yeah, it's about where it sits. Yeah. That's all. I guess, yeah, they definitely gave you the way there, but one little part was left out. As he draws over with his thing, kind of. He goes, you see this? This is called obsidian. And that's what's growing. He goes, your little place Omu sits right inside obsidian. So, kind of hands it back.
Obsidian?
Obsidian, like the
That's
black
the
stone.
mountain that's growing.
Oh, okay.
Without
oh.
the B.
Mm-hmm. It's surrounding, it's grown. I think it probably has a lot to do with that doctor, a lot to do with the LOA's need for advancement.
Yeah.
Is that why you guys set up camp down here? So to keep track of it also?
Yeah, we were, to make sure nobody interrupts the LOA's plan. So I'm not sure if any of you were soldiers, but soldier listens to commands, he does what he's told, don't always have to agree with it. And now we're doing what we're told. It's just, we all got people dying that, were brought back by magical means. They're all getting sick. They're saying that soldiers now who die in battle can't be brought back. So to be quite honest with you, we're not sure where we stand on this. If you want to be heroes, save the world, you go ahead and do it. It's not my commands at this point. I'll give you one night safe stay here. Soldiers won't harm you. But you best be gone by the time sun comes up, because otherwise I will have to do what a soldier does, and that will be to kill each and every one of you.
Thank you for the safe passage.
As he kind of steps back and you see all the soldiers kind of looking at you, liking the coolness, but it only lasts a good 10 minutes and then immediately start feeling this heat again.
Can I ask one of them to take me to the stables and just show me how they train these flying beasts?
I want to know more.
Okay. So you find one of them. You go to the one that looks the most, they're not really stables, they're kind of out. They have these, they tie them up kind of like horses to various trees that are there. These creatures seem to be pretty obedient to who's, right. You find a gentleman, kind of take care of him, patting it, sleeping by him.
Can I just kind of hang on the fence, watch them take care of it for a little while?
Yeah.
And
And
then,
yeah, what you see is not much different from a horse. You can see the gentleman kind of sees your curiosity. He goes, We work with these things from the moment they hatch.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they used to breed them, send down the eggs, get them ready to hatch, do the thing, and you spend time with them like any other creature.
So is each one of you linked to a specific one, or do you guys share them?
And you can consider kind of marking a little bit. Yeah, we're usually assigned to one, and that's kind of our companion, so to say.
Nice.
They're nice to talk to because they don't argue back with you. Like, and they're sweet. They have a sweet side to them. Just don't want to piss them off. Even being marked by them, they're still wild creatures.
That's awesome. Can you take me for a ride?
Kind of looks around. We're either all dead or abandoned here soon anyways, and guess it wouldn't hurt. Once you get time, you get on the back of this thing.
So both of us.
Oh boy.
You stop, you begin to fly
Leave it
upwards.
to Rowan.
You're flying on this thing. And he spends about 10 minutes up there. You can see very similar to a horse, guiding it, how he's doing it. You don't whip these things though, as you find. They shouldn't really even do it to the beast they do it to, but you definitely don't want to use the whip on these. It's all communication, movement, as he's kind of gliding with it. You even see as he turns it, as he kind of turns with it, as you feel the whole thing kind of turn as he glides. Makes his way back down. Well, yeah. You're one of those heroes trying to save the world, right?
Yeah, definitely. We're here to investigate.
Well,
this.
then I guess you don't mind taking risks as he kind of drops the reins there and goes, give it a try if you like. I mean, the worst thing that could happen is probably going to happen to you anyways, right?
All right, I'll give it a try, but will you jump on back with me? Just in case he needs a familiar hand.
I can go with you.
So you're kind of watches? Okay, so you both jump on this thing?
Yeah, because I got backup.
Okay.
Give me
Enough. It's gonna still hurt.
give me animal handling.
I don't even know.
You can't probably fly with him.
Okay.
Can fall gracefully.
That's not that bad. That's good. 23.
Okay, so it's even surprising you guys are kind of all seeing this. Because Ron just pulls back those reins, you're on the back, and even for you, got to grab onto it for a second. This thing just goes straight up. I mean, like, just boom, as these wings are kicking. The speed, the wind blowing in your face as you kind of manage to start moving this thing. Now, give me one more animal handling.
All right. Let's go with different dice.
You can help me if you want. You're on the back.
17.
We don't want his help. So now you start kind of taking in what that gentleman was saying. You kind of start leaning with it, and you start feeling this. It is more of a just guiding it, but you're moving with this thing as you're. And you can hear a scream from below. Ride's over. Need her back down here.
Alright, so I'll guide her back down.
As you kind of land down,
And just
jump off this thing. You see it kind of looks at you for a moment.
I pet it a couple times.
You
and
do.
then
No, it kind of just stretches out. You see its neck kind of extends. Scales there as you kind of just looks at you.
Can I, walk towards the guy that let me take a ride on it and
Why don't we ask him if they have any eggs for sale?
that's a good idea.
Let's get one. Because you want one.
I definitely do.
Let's inquire.
I guess where do you guys train the little ones at before they become service animals?
Well, we have trained the ones that are actually here now. We have a few eggs left. Not sure what's going to happen to them in this heat and all that. They're probably as good as cooked, you know what I mean? We'll probably eat them for breakfast the next couple days. The heat keeps up with us.
Well, I'd love to maybe take one off your hands if you don't mind. Just let me know what it would cost.
And you're heading farther south, right?
We are.
You'd have to have something put it in that heat ain't going to bother. But I don't know if any of you got something like that.
I do.
I think my friend has a pouch back where we're staying for the night that keep things cool.
You know, so just hang around for a moment, okay?
Oh,
And he kind of looks at you and he goes, by the way, do you think maybe before you leave you could do another one of those ice things you did?
absolutely.
It's just, this time maybe not so, we don't, slipping and stuff. Kind of embarrassing.
You might want to be sitting then when I do it because it's just cold.
We appreciate that. I'll talk to the captain and kind of use that as a, key point. You're gonna do a deed. As he kind of walks, you see him and the gentleman that was talking to you back and forth. They kind of looking over at you guys, and you see the guys going, and he goes, and she kind of looks at you for a moment and goes, gentleman comes back, let me see that bag you got there. He picks up the last 3 they have.
3?
Captain said he ain't gonna do much for us anyways.
Okay.
He's considered us all pretty much dead men anyways. As he gently places the 3 eggs into your bag.
3 eggs.
Dun, dun, dun.
Wyverns.
Now, like I said,
Yes, wyverns.
very important. You treat those right.
Absolutely. I
If you
have
don't-
One
Okay.
hell of an
a
omelet.
deep respect for animals,
It's gonna go one way or the other.
as I'm sure you noticed.
So you guys have you have the eggs there.
Hey,
Alright.
guys, you might wanna, I don't really want to hold this all night long, just like this.
Calm down.
So before you do, sir, the cute little brown thing
Or we
she's
can
holding,
Yeah.
Just go to sleep
it's
like
about
this.
to get kind of big. He's very gentle. He listens to us very well. He's not gonna hurt anybody. You have my word. You can have my head if you feel so inclined.
Don't really matter at this point.
All right. Okay, just don't hit anybody.
Don't drop
See that
him, like,
rope?
just set him down. Gently, please.
So you get lower. Okay, so you let go of them, poof, and you watch. There's about 4 soldiers standing in your vicinity, and they're weary. They're tired. When this happens, poof, you watch them all just go. And they just 4 all drop as they all kind of just looking. Whoa, is this? Just kind of looks
I'm
at
gonna
you
go
guys.
over and pet him again. It's okay.
And again, he kind of just goes where you guys at, kind of wants to stand in front of you. Kind of just standing and looking around. So it's probably about 3 in the morning at this point. What do you guys want to do?
Sleep.
Rest.
Yeah.
So you sleep. As you're sleeping, I need everybody to give me a dexterity saving throw.
Coming for us in the middle of the night.
7.
7.
26.
How much?
26.
Oh shit.
19.
You said what?
13.
13. And you're laying because you're sleeping. 'Cause you're okay. You guys, the 3 of you as you're sleeping,
Right there. Okay.
you're woken up with just such tremors on the ground that it actually bounces you up here and kind of throws you down back on it, where you each take 2 points of damage, bludgeoning damage. You guys kind of manage to wake up, and it's the ground beneath you. You just feel these tremors, this earthquake happening. As you hear the guards stand up and go, they're moving closer. We're leaving this godforsaken place first thing the sun comes up. It's moving closer. As now you guys, as you stand up and look, you can see that wall now. Maybe 600 feet out.
Oh.
And now you see it closer. It's
Have any?
black mountains that just, you try to see how high they go up, but they just don't seem to end. As you look up, and you can see the lightning energy that comes from it once in a while. And you swear you see them kind of ripple. Parts of it seem to ripple, almost move.
Have any of your men tried to infiltrate the mountains yet?
We're not infantry. Shit. I take my words, that's somebody, that doctor, he bragged. He said he has some book, that he could bypass. He can go right to a moon. He could just poof and be there. Meanwhile, we're getting command, we're supposed to defend this. We're gone, son, and I warn all of you, I appreciate heroes, but there's times when, sometimes being a hero is saving each other and saving your own skin. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do with my men. So I wish you all luck as the sun begins to come up.
Okay.
But we are,
Is there any like
we're not
special
dying men
suits
right
we
now.
got to get in?
No.
Suits? Yeah.
We're not getting in a space capsule. We're not going to Mars.
Maybe there's a heat protected suit.
Magical people.
one more sleet storm before you run?
Yes.
Alright. Sleet storm.
I need everybody to give me dexterity saving throws again as she casts Sleep Storm.
Am I?
It's, you're fine.
I natural 20 when I don't need it.
Oh, great.
Wow, that is monumental. That is
You too?
perfect for what's going on. No.
24.
19.
17.
I fly.
She's
Oh,
flying.
just said I
fine. Your
didn't have to
spell
do
test
it.
is fine.
Yeah.
They also
What about him? Well, he doesn't probably.
Well, he's big.
He's kind of in earth, but
So.
He does have. What is this
I
that's
don't
going
think
on
you'd be
now?
not prone.
This
Dex.
ice thing?
Yeah.
He has immunity. No, he's good. He can do it. Let's just see if he falls. It'd be funny. Roll 4, and he has a -1 on his deck, so yeah, he fell.
So you watch as he kind of he goes, pushes his hand through this ice, kind of pulls it up, kind of takes a mouthful of it, he eats it with the dirt, stands up. As you watch again, this time the soldiers epically fail. I mean, just from some go face first, but you also hear this insane laughter that comes from all of them as they're kind of wiping the ice off your faces, Danny. As they're gathering their things, 2 wyverns are mounted, they take off, and they just start the rest of them on foot head north.
I'll eagle. I'll go ahead and shift into an eagle and we'll try and tackle this
Penetrate.
thing.
So, you guys begin to fly towards us now. It's not much of a flight. As you're getting closer now, you can see different levels of this mountain. It just goes up, up, and the higher you try to fly, you get to a point you're flying so high the air's actually becoming too thin, to where you guys have flying,
Envisioning
flying,
padding.
and it just doesn't seem to end.
We need spacesuits.
As you kind of start to just come back down to it, lightning hitting different areas.
Can I follow it right to see if there's
You
a
spend an
curve?
hour flying that way, never ends. You start to fly back, and you can feel it moving. You can feel the tremors in the air now. You watch as the ground begins to shift as this is just moving forward. The heat from it, intensity. I need again Constitution saving throws from everybody.
20 total.
22.
15.
Okay.
16.
8.
8. Okay. A roll for the big guy.
Yeah, for the second season.
Natural 20.
Oh, we didn't.
Oh, good for him.
You had to have picked it back up.
Yeah,
Flying.
if we were flying, you had to pick him up.
Oh yeah, technically yes.
Oh, I thought
It's fine.
she just
Yes, we
went
did.
to
Yes, we did.
check some
It's
things
fine.
out and.
Yes, we did.
Yep.
Okay.
See how bad? Easy.
Rowan, you are now at one level of exhaustion where the heat is just starting to really get you guys.
It's just like living in Las Vegas.
You spend the rest of your time flying to where there's no choice but to land down now. And as you land, you see this large mountain now standing maybe 40 feet in front of you. Again, the ground begins to shake. Dexterity saving throws for everybody.
12.
19 for me. We're on the ground now?
Mhm.
Yes. Me.
He's still tiny.
Oh, okay, so we're that's right.
11.
21.
Okay. And you had the 11.
Yeah,
Okay.
tiny.
So you're standing there and the ground just shakes. You just fall back onto your back prone, onto this jagged rocks that are now starting to form from the earth, just shape shifting. You take 4 points of damage. What the damage is?
In this
Shit.
place.
You flying in the air, just the waves and the organic energy that's happening kind of flutters you back as it pushes you onto the ground. You take 2 points bludgeoning damage as you kind of catch yourself, but kind of bump on it. You immediately let go of the big guy.
Okay, yeah.
Just
I'll
when
say
he
what about
just
him.
pops up
Yeah.
big, puts both of his knuckles in the ground. As he
Yeah,
kind of
now he's
stands
big
up,
again.
and you see this. He is of the earth, and he is even kind of looking around as he's standing there. A piece of it just jolts up to stone. He kind of looks at us, goes to club it, and breaks it in half as it just flies into the air. You guys are seeing now in every direction
Can you
as
punch
it's
his
moving
leg?
closer to you.
I'm gonna shift out since obviously it does me no good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pat him and I'm gonna walk.
Well, you're already shifted, yeah, because you spent all your time trying to get away.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna pat him and I'm gonna walk over to the wall and I'm gonna make fists and I'm gonna go like this. So can you do this?
Oh, I'm just
Yeah.
okay. All right, as you hit it,
No.
you hit it again, and you watch as something begins to move forward out of it, and you begin to look downwards as what appears to be a foot lifting out of this stone. You guys all stand back as you look, and the front part of this mountain just begins to form a humanoid shape, gigantic, titan size out of it,
Made out of mountain.
as it just steps out. It looks at all you guys, and that's what we'll end tonight's session.
Oh crap. Okay. Shit.
That's Gnar.
Guys, tune in. Tell your friends about us. If you like it, subscribe, and we will see you next week.
Oh boy. Thanks.
everybody.
Bye.